Hello everyone. Imagine a vast region over a quarter of South Sudan where the BAHR El GHAZAL river flows. It is called the River of Gazelles in Arabic. This land is rich but marked by tragedy, vibrant cultures, and foreign interventions. In this fourth lesson on South Sudan, we will explore three stories. First, the global view on the fascinating history of BAHR El GHAZAL since the 19th century. Second, a focus on the French Marchand mission. And third, a closer look at Father Barbier's lasting impact in WOW. First point, BAHR El GHAZAL. In the 19th century, BAHR El GHAZAL was a mix of cultures. Tribes like the Denka, Fertit, and Luo lived without central control. The land had plenty of water for herds and crops. It was a mosaic of tribes, languages, lifestyles, and dance techniques, like the remarkable Dinka's jumping dance. The four largest tribal groups are the Dinka, the Fertit, the Balanda, who are actually part of the Fertit but can be distinguished, and the Luo. In the 1820s, under Turco-Egyptian rule, the slave trade grew. Arab merchants, sometimes with local chiefs, raided villages. Entire communities were destroyed. Families were torn apart. Thousands were captured yearly and sold in Omdurman, Cairo, or Arabia. Merchants built fortified camps, called zeribas, to store slaves and ivory. Al-Zubair Rahma Mansour dominated this trade in the 1860s, creating an almost slave state in Dem Zubair. Today, this place carries scars of that era. Since 2017, UNESCO has worked to make it a global memorial. Christian missions discreetly arrived in this chaos. Their early impact was very limited. Catholic Comboni missionaries and Anglican Protestants tried to oppose slavery. Daniele Comboni wanted to, quote, regenerate Africa through Africa by educating and converting people. Missionaries bought some slaves to free them and build schools and shelters, but the region was dangerous. Swarms and malaria made work hard. Slave traders hated them. The British, after 1898, reduced the slave trade with their anti-slavery policies, though driven by colonial interests. One remarkable figure was Josephine Bakita. Born around 1869 in Darfur, she was kidnapped at 7 and sold multiple times. She endured slavery's horrors. An Italian consul bought her freedom. In Italy, she became a nun and was canonized in 2000. Her 1931 book raised awareness in Europe about the Sudanese slave trade. Although an ambivalent figure, emphasized by Europeans with an agenda, Bakita became a symbol of resilience. Second point, France in WOW, the Marchand mission. Now let's talk about a lesser-known story, the French Marchand mission from 1896 to 1899. This expedition started in Luango on the Atlantic and aimed for the Nile, 6,000 kilometers away. Led by Captain Jean-Baptiste Marchand, it carried tons of supplies, including a dismantled boat, the Faidherbe. It was a tough journey with no bread, no wine, apparently only hardships. Oh, come on, not really. In 1897, the French reached BAHR El GHAZAL and built Fort de Zay near the Soué River. Fort de Zay or Fort de Zay. They stayed only 6 months, but it marked a kind of turning point. According to priest Stefano Sant'Andrea, who studied this history, this is where modern WOW began. A local chief, Kwol Ukel, helped Marchand choose the site. The foundation plaque, photographed by Father Barbier, remains up to now. It is a remarkable and very little known document about early WOW, named Fort de Zay or Fort de Zay at that time. A 2010 photo album shows daily life during the mission. Fascinating document. The French connected with tribes like the Denka, who were curious but wary. One witness said, Hippos danced the cancan on the riverbanks. Really, the French hunted, marched, and met tribes. But their stay was brief. After leaving Wau, they crossed the Sud marshes. Not an easy journey, for sure. Then they finally reached Fashoda, Kodok. Outnumbered, the French had to leave the ground to the British. Fort Desert became Wau again. The French legacy faded under Anglo-Egyptian rule. Third point, Father Barbier building a medical center in Wau. In the 1970s, Father Hubert Barbier, a French white father, ordained in 1953, transformed Wau somehow. After South Sudan's first civil war, Wau was struggling. Barbier was sent there by the Catholic Church to build a paramedical center. With support from Sudan Aid and German funding from Misereor, he constructed a complex of 20 buildings between 1976 and 1983. He trained doctors and nurses and upgraded the local hospital. He learned English, of course, worked with partners, and built ties with Sudanese authorities. In 9 years, he achieved the impossible. But in 1983, the Second Civil War broke out. Hubert Barbier was called back to France in 1985. Not easy for him, for sure, because he truly loved what he was doing in Wau. The new medical center seemed doomed. Yet its impact lasted, and Barbier kept fighting for the rights of the South Sudanese people. In 1991, Barbier founded the Sudan Vigilance Committee in France to raise awareness of human rights abuses in Sudan. In 1993, he spoke at the UN, condemning Sharia and persecutions. In 2010, 1 year before independence, his center in Wau was reborn as the Catholic Health Training Institute, training healthcare workers in an independent South Sudan. A few words of conclusion. BAHR EL GHAZAL is a land of suffering and challenge, slavery, colonization, and wars, but also a land of tremendous resources, great people. This region, with its painful past and creative, resilient tribes, carries memories of scars and hopes for peace and prosperity. For further reading, we recommend Stefano Sant'Andrea's pioneering work, among other books to read. Thank you for your attention, and to be followed.